Hey everyone, this is Anime Central AMVHD, and what this video is going to be about is specifically Madara and Obito. There has been some rumors that Madara actually found Obito. Some people are saying it might have to do with the Zetsu or something, just because, well, we don't know too much about him. You know, we know his abilities now, recently in the anime, but we still don't know where he came from. And but there's probably some bio or something somewhere you could look at on a website, official website, of course. And I'll start off by saying that, you know, that does sound quite true or quite possible that he could have actually, not exactly revived, but helped bring back Obito, because we all know now that Tobi is Obito, it's the same person, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, the hair is the same. Two, because it's the same letters in their name. The only difference is that Obito has 2 O's instead of 1, so that's really only difference, but it's still the same letters either way. And also because he's missing the same eye, and he has the same eye, you know, if you put Kakashi and Obito together, or even Tobi together, you know, they both have the exact opposites, exact opposites eyes. And plus, Kakashi and Tobi have similar abilities, you know, having to do with teleportation. You know, we know that Tobi can teleport himself, other people, like Sasuke, when he got hurt, into a different dimension. Just like Kakashi can, you know, he could teleport anything into a different dimension, you know, and I gotta say that there's a lot of reasons to believe that they're the same, but there's still the question of, you know, how exactly did Tobi, you know, not exactly come back to life. Well, he might have died officially, but, you know, how he came back to life, or who helped him heal or get back up and running and everything. Maybe he somehow unlocked his powers then and he teleported himself into a different dimension. You know, I don't think he unlocked that kind of level of the Sharingan at the young of an age, but you never know. You know, it's like, you know, Naruto, he unlocked the Jinchuriki's, you know, tailed beast power when he was really young, just because he got so infuriated. And really, there's just a lot of things you could talk about and go over about that has to do with this, and a lot of ways you could look at this. But I gotta say, you know, if you really think about it, for all we know, Madara could have really brought him back, because, you know, they did say that Itachi was actually getting told by someone to kill the village. Not just by, you know, Danzo, of course, but it was actually a part of a side mission as well, so it's like he was working for 2 people at the same time. And plus, there's still the kind of question of how in the world Tobi got all those Sharingan eyes, because when he replaced, you know, Sasuke's eyes with Itachi's, you know, he was in a room covered with eyes. So my question is, how did he get all those eyes? You know, you could be thinking, well, maybe it has to do with the village being destroyed, you know, but no, it wasn't for that reason, you know. Those eyes went to Danzo. That's how he had those eyes on his arm and everything. So that covers that. So there's still the question of how in the world did he get all those eyes? You know, and it wouldn't make sense if it was from Madara, you know, and he got all those eyes over time after, you know, maybe killing a member every now and then, or someone with a Sharingan, or just after you know, after being so old and everything. And he is dead, obviously, because, you know, he has been revived with the reanimation jutsu. But for all we know, you know, some people are still saying that Tobi is actually Madara, but I don't really think so, you know. They may look a little bit alike or be a little bit similar, but they're, you know, they definitely do have their differences. And some people say that he actually was brought up by Madara, you know, when he got crushed by that boulder. And that might be true. You know, it would make sense of everything. And considering, you know, how he got crushed then and how young he was and vulnerable he was, and even though he did have he did teach, you know, Kakashi that whole lesson of, you know, you're considered scum if you don't follow the mission, but you're even worse than scum if you kill someone, or not kill someone, but if you don't try to help someone else, or fight for another person and prioritize them over your mission. And you know, that doesn't make sense, but at the same time, you know, he did have some sort of maybe slight darkness about him, I'm not just saying, you know, but he did get upset, you know, and that kind of stuff. And even though I didn't see very much of him, but I will say that, you know, he wasn't like the most purely hearted person of good, but he did have his mind on the right thing, but maybe just not in the right way. So that makes perfect sense in that way. So, since he was so young and everything, he probably was vulnerable, to Madara's idea of, how to bring peace and everything about the tailed beasts and just, everything. And I guess you could say, we still don't know where Tobi came from. We don't know who his parents was or anything, For all we know, he could be the son of Madara, which kind of be bad. But I wouldn't think so. But you never know. But I guess you could say he probably trained him like a son or just a kid, considering he was young and everything, and he could have trained him from the ground up and everything, and when he fought that paper bomb chick, I always forget her name. Sorry, the one with the purple hair. Remember, he had another eye, so that probably came from the lab with all the other eyes. But someone would have had to transplant them into him. You gotta remember that. He can't do it to himself, I'm pretty sure. Or else, well, Sasuke would probably be doing it to himself too. And that does make sense. And, some people say, Tobi is actually, Madara's brother that got so-called killed a long time ago. That is kind of a possibility, considering that we didn't really exactly know how he died or know if he died, And considering that there's the laboratory with all those eyes and everything, somehow, after taking his brother's eyes and achieving that power, he could have just given his brother some other people's eyes or something like that, And, if you really just consider everything, the laboratory, what happened, how vulnerable Tobi was, and how he could have gotten persuaded to follow into Madara's dream of peace and his idea and plan and everything, and just really, that does make sense. There's a lot of ways you could go at this, saying that the Zetsu actually brought him back or got him back up and everything, and that could be how he got another arm, which then again could have to do with his, Sharingan in some sort of way. And there's still the kind of question, like when he was fighting, I don't think it was Danzo, but it was somewhere around that season, he ripped his own arm off, and as soon as it hit the ground, it all liquefied. It was all just white pus inside of there, which would make sense since he did have his body crushed, but there's still the question of how is he able to move it around, and for all we know, it could have had to do with the White Zetsu healing him and, merging with him, because we do know later in the manga he does kind of merge with Obito, or Tobi, and he could have, done that because he can make it to where his arm would be functional that way, and that makes a lot of sense. There could have been a little bit of both, and there's still the question of just where the White Zetsu came from. Maybe Madara found him. Maybe both sides are true in some sort of way, And, but it would kind of make sense, if, Madara kind of, trained Tobi and everything and kind of tried to make him like the newer version of himself, or just make Tobi into what he is today. And, being like, he was probably considering, if I'm going to die anytime soon, then, or eventually, then I might as well leave something behind or put it into someone else's hands. Kind of like this is a totally different subject, but let's just say The Dark Knight Rises. How it ends with a different person becoming the new Batman. And, really it's kind of a similar thing, so it does make a lot of sense. And, really just talking about this just really makes me wonder a lot of things. There's a lot of questions floating in the air, and there's quite a lot of possibilities, but I still think that, Madara probably did bring him back to life, because you gotta consider that when, I forgot his name, there's a lot of characters, the shark guy, the guy with the teeth and everything, on the episode, the tailed beast, when they were searching in his mind and everything, through his memories and everything, it did show Madara. So, there's still that question, Madara probably was alive. He did bring Tobi alive and everything, and train him and everything, made him what he is today. And he probably died sometime around early of the original Naruto series when it was starting, or shortly after it started. Certainly not before, and, it does make a lot of sense, because, you gotta think about it, how in the world would, Tobi get all this stuff and come up with such a plan and everything, and change so much, You know, because, he left, when Kakashi and everyone thought he died, he had a lot of, positive energy coming from him. You know, he was really, a good person overall. And, how in the world would he become so evil in this way? And for all we know, this could be like Code Geass, where, he's just trying to pose as an enemy for everyone, so then everyone will work to... I'm not sure this is completely accurate, but everyone's working together to fight one common enemy, so then he can use that as a way to unite everyone, so then they can put their differences aside, and so they'll all work together and get over their differences to fight one enemy. And then in the end, when he dies, or supposedly dies, he accomplishes the mission of, bringing more world peace that way. Maybe this is some sort of mission, maybe he's just trying to make you think he's a villain or something, There's a lot of ways you could go into this, but I'm pretty sure Madara does have to do with this, because it would make a lot of sense. Like I said, the shark guy, and just the eyes, because only Madara would be able to get that many eyes, really. And, but I really think that's about it. So thanks again everyone for watching this video, and tell me what you guys think. Maybe there's some details I left out, or something that you noticed, or that should be announced, so then other people could consider that when they make their conclusions like this. But this is my side. What I think. Like I said, I think Madara definitely has a part to do with it. Because it makes perfect sense in a lot of ways. And so again, thanks again for watching this video. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and you love talking about and hearing about Naruto, Shippuden, or original Naruto. And I'll see you guys in the next video.